organizers asked me to give you a brief landscape of the real-world asset tokenization in Turkey from a policymaking perspective. So that's what I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes. And I'll tell you, to my knowledge, what seems most feasible in the next few months and what doesn't seem feasible from a regulatory point of view. Let me also introduce myself. I run a government affairs company based in Istanbul. We work in Turkey and in Azerbaijan and in Central Asia. We work with major technology companies like Apple, Netflix, TikTok, as well as some crypto clients. Coinbase was a client, Circle is a client, some regional and local exchanges are clients. And we have contributed a lot to the crypto regulations in Turkey, which were enacted last year. Stable coins were discussed, so I'm not going into that. The current regulations do not cover the stable coins. They are to be separately regulated by the central bank in the next months or years. We are yet to see. And the regulations that were enacted last year are very much similar to what you have in MiCA in the EU. It's not a very progressive regulation like those in Dubai or Singapore. It has more of an investor protection angle, but it is still fine. It is possible to do a lot of things, including tokenization of real-world assets that has been allowed in the regulation. And in order to do that, whatever asset you are tokenizing, you actually have to work with one of the licensed exchanges if you are issuing that here. And if it is issued somewhere else, you can list it. And listing is not subject to approval. It's just the exchange's decision. They will have certain policies on that. And if you are issuing a tokenized asset here, basically what you will need to do is to get permission from the relevant regulator. So if it is gold, you get permission from the Ministry of Treasury. If it is real estate, you need to get a letter from the Ministry of Urbanization, whatever. So they actually, the regulator leaves that to the other regulator, which is regulating that specific asset. So I did prepare you a list of possible assets to be tokenized, and I brainstormed on what seems to be most feasible and what does not. Let me tell you what does not seems feasible in my idea first. I think real estate is not a quick win because the land registries in Turkey are extremely complicated. It is even complicated to go and buy and sell assets without being tokenized. So there are so many complications. You don't know which land is registered to who has rights on that, blah, blah, blah. I think this is a very long shot. I think in terms of the stock exchange and corporate bonds is an extremely small market. The financing is very bank-dominated. I don't think it makes sense. And the stock exchange will continue to stagnate in the next 2 years because of the high interest rate policy. So that's not a quick win either. And I don't see a liquidity problem there, honestly. And if you talk about more advanced assets like carbon credits, infrastructure, they are not, the regulatory infrastructure is not there yet. And the luxury goods, arts, I think Turkey is not the right market. You do that in Switzerland. In Dubai, it's much more feasible. So we have only precious metals like gold and agricultural products, which I think is a real opportunity. So let me talk about them briefly. I'll talk about gold, but you can apply this to other precious metals as well. I think in Turkey, just like any other developing country, I would say, like India, etc., there is a strong demand for gold. That is kind of inherent in the average people. It's a very good instrument for savings. It's accessible. People buy and gift them in the weddings, other occasions. So there is an inherent demand. And there is also a very large amount, which some say like $250 billion worth of assets of gold that is stored under the pillows, in individual custody. So there is an opportunity here, and most importantly, I think there is a legal infrastructure of custody and electronic certification of gold, so it is relatively easy to be tokenized. What needs to be done is to talk with the Ministry of Treasury, which is regulating this, and establish the relevant procedures. The question that I have is that it is already a very liquid and divisible asset which you can sell at the banks, or you can go to the jewelry shop. So the value added of the tokenization will be kind of limited if it stays only in the domestic market. But if, just like the case of stablecoins, if the tokenization project can make it global, meaning if you can buy the gold here and redeem in Dubai or in London or in India, whatever, there might be a use case. So I see this as the first opportunity. The second and the last opportunity is in the agricultural products, which is obviously quite big in Turkey. And the reason I'm suggesting this as a quick win is because there is already a legal and physical infrastructure for the tokenization of these products. There is a regime for licensed warehouses. The farmers take their products to the warehouse, they get electronic receipts. They already have under custody 10 million tons of storage and $2.5 billion of asset value at any moment in time. So the starting point could be relatively homogeneous products like wheat, barley, and maize. This is already under circulation. And then possibly later, more boutique products, but products that Turkey is a world leader, like hazelnut, pistachio, and cotton could be added to the picture, because these are widely traded and liquid assets. In order to do this, the regulator will be, again, the Capital Markets Board. That's good, because they also regulate the crypto exchanges, so you don't need to deal with multiple regulators, which is always a pain. And the Union of Chambers of Commodity Exchanges is running the system, so they could be another address to which to apply to. I'll keep it very short, and if you have any other questions on these assets or any other ideas, I'm happy to speak to you after the talk. Thank you very much.